Hello and welcome back to American Truck Simulator. I am Tom, and we're going to get talking in just a moment. First, let's take a look at the job market, because we are without a job. However, I have selected one. This one from Mazatlan, which is roughly where we are in the world at the moment, takes us all the way back up via a different route through Mexico into New Mexico, and then Colorado and Wyoming. Gets us close to Montana, which we haven't checked out yet, and is the latest DLC. And from there we can maybe push up into British Columbia, check out the other mod. I think that's going to be the job that we take. If we, I wish we could zoom in on that, but let's just go pick up our cargo first of all.
Okay, here we go.
I don't know where we put. Oh, I remember now. Yeah. So we are turning right out of here. Hopefully there's no traffic. It doesn't seem there is. Fantastic, and it's just around the corner here, I believe. We will turn left when the lights give us the okay to do so. There we go. So I think what I've titled this video is something like The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, because I want to talk about the book series, which I've just been rereading recently to my 5-year-old, and we're close to finishing now. We're on So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, and we're about a quarter to a third of the way through that book. So once we're done with that, we need to move on to Mostly Harmless, and then we're done. The whole trilogy of 5 books is complete. So in part, I'm looking for recommendations for what to read next. Reading age doesn't really matter, because I'm reading to Ethan. What matters is having plenty of characters to do silly voices for. Which the Hitchhiker's Guide has been pretty good for. What is all this? This is just train tracks, okay. Very narrow, odd road layout down here. Really quite interesting. I heard that, yeah. Keep right and then turn right was the message to us there. Building supplies. We had plenty of time to pick this up, so no issue there. It's not the articulated one, is it? Oh no, thank God. No, we're just taking ventilation shaft, £11,000 up to Casper, Wyoming. Quite a long journey, but we will take the job. I like a long journey. I was tempted to head back and forth around Mexico a little bit, but we might do that in the future. What I want to do is, early on I want to go as wide and far as possible, and then we might do some more focused travel in the future at some point. We'll certainly come back down to Mexico because we haven't seen it all. Before we set off, how am I for sleep and everything? I am good. I really need fuel. But first of all, let's take a look at the world map. Yeah, this is what I wanted to see. For some reason, there's this road here, which I don't know why you would ever use when this one's available to you. Because they both go to the same location. Here, they merge again around here. It looks like, anyway. I don't know for a fact. So there's just a question mark there, a mechanic. But there doesn't seem to be anything along the road of any value in particular, except for the obvious challenge of it, And I wonder if that's the point. Because that is what Reformer... It does this in a lot of places. You can see here, another winding road. More over here, more here. All over the place, Reformer just has a bunch of what seemingly could be optional, more challenging area to cover. But we're just going to try and keep it simple. Not least of all because we are always against the clock, obviously. Oh, turn left. It's not quite with it, but there we go. There we go. So, on account of reading the Hitchhiker's Guide series to a 5-year-old, here's a random fact you may not know. The third book in the series, which is Life, the Universe, and Everything, features the word fuck 3 times. Exactly 3 times. I wouldn't normally keep count, only I was reading it to a 5-year-old. And I did read the word fuck aloud 3 times as well. Ethan's not going to notice that. But... Oh, hang on. No, wait. You say go straight on, but it looks like... Oh, I see, yeah. Okay. I see, yeah. There we go. I don't know if this is still true or not, but in early editions, and perhaps still editions published to this day, in early American editions of the Hitchhiker's Guide series published in America, the word fuck does not appear in the third book at all. Instead, all 3 instances of the word fuck are replaced with the word Belgium. Belgium. Now, the apparent reasoning for this is that American publishers had concerns about the word fuck appearing in a book that was popular with children. So America, in general, is a little bit more sensorial than the UK. So Douglas Adams came up with the idea of replacing it with Belgium. Not fully sure why. I think he had a short story in which Belgium was the most horrid swear word in the entire galaxy. And that might be the reasoning for it. But in British editions of the book, it is fuck. And it appears 3 times. I only kept count of which because I was reading to a 5-year-old. But I thought that was interesting. I only Googled it after the fact because I was like just double checking my count. Like, was it 3 times or did I miss a 4th or something? But on all 3 occasions it is referring to the award for the most prestigious use of the word fuck in a screenplay or something like that. Another thing about that series, like, I love that series. I think it's my favorite series of books, and the first book is like one of my favorite books of all time, hands down. But upon rereading to Ethan, I've noticed that the 4 main characters, well, obviously you've got Arthur Dent, who is the main character. Then you've got Ford Prefect, his best friend. Then you've got Trillian and Zaphod. For the first couple of books, they don't have distinct characters so much. The only way in which, say, Ford Prefect is particularly distinct from Zaphod Beeblebrox is in the second book, Ford gets drunk at the restaurant at the end of the universe. And that's about it. All of the side characters and whatnot, like your Vogons and your various other species of alien, they've got distinct characters because of course they do. That's how sci-fi is written. Alien races always have like yeah, they just keep going. This road, this area, damn, that's gorgeous. Yeah, but Douglas Adams doesn't particularly provide individual characterization for the four main characters for the first couple of books. And even though well, I will say something controversial. I think the books are better written over time. Like, I'm reading So Long and Thanks for All the Fish now, and it is a significantly better written book than the first three. It's a bit more grown up and less silly, and there's like less use of like just over the top. That is incredible. Sorry, I keep on getting distracted. I love this Reformer mod, by the way. It's got a lot of it seems to have a lot of graphical glitches and other issues here and there, but look at it. That's amazing. Some of these books didn't need to be written. Like, Life, the Universe, and Everything. Life, the Universe, and Everything meanders around the point quite a lot, and then rushes the point home at the very end. And I've got the feeling that the same thing is happening now with So Long and Thanks for All the Fish. We'll have to see. Because we've spent a few chapters just back with Arthur Dent, back home on Earth, and it's like, okay, where are we going with this? Because I don't remember. All I remember is that one of these books, and I think it's mostly harmless, features a character called Random, who I really liked when I read the books for the first time. Random was a favorite character of mine. Which is why I think when I was younger, I used to say that Mostly Harmless was my favorite of the books. Look at this! Oh my god, we need to stop. We need to briefly stop right here and head into Photo Studio. I haven't used this in a while, so we'll see if I can remember how to even do this. Can I? What controls have I got? Can I move any faster? Doesn't look like I can move any higher up, unfortunately. Look at that! Wow. What about the other side? That is just incredible. Do you reckon we can get a photo here anywhere? Maybe facing off in that direction? Behind the truck, just here? Oh, I don't know, I don't know. I'd like to get the... Oh, I'd love to get this valley framed and the truck, but I don't know how to compose such a photo. Let's, from this railing... No, what I really like from a truck angle is something like a low angle like this, and getting the whole thing, including the back wheel, getting the whole rig in frame. Probably want to zoom out a bit from there. Take another look at that. Yeah. I don't think we're getting a photo here, are we? Let's just do that. I just wanted to take a look. Because, wow. The scenery down here is phenomenal. Have I got the window open, by the way? Yes, I do. When did I do that? I've discovered a viewpoint. It's probably on the other side of the road, though, right? Yeah, I can't get to that. So like I say, reading age doesn't matter. Ethan's 5, I'm reading the books to him. Like, I'd gladly pick up, say, what am I looking at on my bookshelf over here? Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, right? I'd gladly pick that up and do a silly voice for Hunter S. Thompson, and Ethan would love it. But I want something that's like sci-fi or fantasy. Preferably one that's fun for kids and adults, which I think The Hitchhiker's Guide is, because it's very silly. Which is what I've never read Discworld, but I've been thinking about Discworld as an option. It's something I feel like I should have read, although I know there are a lot of books. I know Pratchett has done children's books as well, like The Carpet People. But the question is, am I going to enjoy The Carpet People? I suppose the other question is Ethan going to enjoy the Discworld series, starting with The Colour of Magic? I don't know. It depends how frequently characters get dialogue and how silly the character is, what sort of silly voice I can do for them. Because with sci-fi, when you're meeting aliens, you just come up with a different voice every time there's a new species. The Vogons have a distinct kind of sound. I can't remember any other alien species. They really don't meet that many aliens. Obviously, Ford and Zaphod are aliens, but I can't remember what species. Ford is from Beetlejuice, but I don't think his species is Beetlejuician. It'd be funny if it were, because that's a very silly name. Do I have my headlights on, by the way? I do. Oh shit, I've just realized the fuel situation is dire. I mentioned that before leaving town as well, didn't I? I mentioned it before leaving town and then I completely forgot. Oh, this road as well. So, what I also like about Douglas Adams' writing, a friend, like I mentioned on Facebook that I was reading these books, and a friend said he'd never really gotten into the Hitchhiker's Guide series, or he had, but he didn't think much of it, because Douglas Adams' writing is, it's overwritten. And he's not wrong, it is overwritten in a lot of places. But there's a certain rhythm and a certain patter to it all that Ethan loves, right? Okay, I should tell you about this. When Ethan was a lot younger, like I think 2 or 3, I was just reading Matt Parker's book in my spare time, my own free time. I was reading Things to Make and Do in the Fourth Dimension, which is Matt Parker's popular mathematics book. So it's not fiction at all. It is a mathematics text, a sort of half comedic one, but you know, it is a book about serious, actual mathematical phenomena. And I was reading this one summer's day, just sat outside in the garden, and Ethan came over and he sat across from me, and I put the book down. I was like, "Hey, Ethan, how you doing?" And he grabbed the book, pushed it back towards my face, and, you know, essentially, Ethan doesn't talk. We'll get onto that in a second. But he pushed it back towards my face and essentially said, you know, keep reading, keep reading. So I started reading it aloud to him. And he starts laughing at words like quadrilateral and hypercube. Words that are big and silly and far, far beyond his reading age, of course. So he likes the language of Douglas Adams's books because it's overwritten. It being overwritten, it being, you know, flowery, and I think is purple the right adjective to use for that sort of writing? But when the writing's overstated and there's large, big adjectives, and the writer really kind of makes a meal of the paragraph, is so good. Ethan finds that so funny. Ethan is 5, but Ethan is also autistic. And so his language development lags behind other children his age. Actually, you know what? I think he understands more than he speaks. Because he's always seemed to understand us. We can say all kinds of things and he'll respond as though he's certain of what we said. But when it comes to actually speaking, I think he just doesn't want to. There's a lot of whenever we need to encourage him to speak at all, I have to make it necessary. Like, he didn't want to say hello and goodbye initially. He knew the words. Conceptually, he was aware of the words. Why were you so far across the road? He was aware of words like bye-bye. But it took him some encouraging to actually want to say it. One day we were picking him up from school, and I just I said, say bye-bye. Say bye-bye to your teacher, Ethan. Just completely silent, didn't say anything. Then I thought, you know what I'll say? I'll say, oh, you've got 2 lanes over there. Oh, this is a nightmare. Okay, the road is marked in a certain kind of way, but it's also... it's clearly not marked in the code the same way. Gotta be careful on this road. Good to be aware of that. So instead of saying, say bye-bye, Ethan, I said, okay. First say bye-bye, then go home. Which was my way of, okay, we've got a gas station here. Can I cross over? Surely I can. Just here? Yeah, let's just do it. We'll just pull in and get some gas and turn around. So I said, say bye-bye, then go home, because it's the end of the day, he wants to go home. And he says bye-bye. So he's not interested in speaking unless there's utility. This is what we've sort of figured out. If the language has utility, he'll say it. And since then, we've got him talking a lot more. We've got him saying please and thank you for things. And naming... he can name a ton of animals, and he can name all of his favorite snacks. So if he wants anything in particular, he is able to ask for it. I feel like I'm too close to that fence. I always need to remember that the nose on American vehicles is bigger. I think I'm coming back out the wrong way, aren't I? That's fine. And then we just need to cut across the road. Nobody coming? Just you on that side. There we go. Nicely done. Total of $25 paid. Fantastic. Uh-oh. Yeah, straight on. It looks like the traffic on the other side of the road has also corrected itself. It is now not veering halfway across, which is good. time of day is it? 3 in the afternoon. So... yeah, any book recommendations? I really think Discworld would be a good place to go. Because I've never read any Pratchett, but since Pratchett is often associated with Douglas Adams, I thought maybe... well, let's think about authors, right? Who else could I consider? Who wrote Good Omens? Was that Pratchett and Gaiman? I think it was, wasn't it? I know Neil Gaiman has done some children's literature. The thing is, I've read Neverwhere, and I have began reading American Gods. I don't think either of those is gonna cut it for my next read to Ethan. Those are maybe a bit too grown up, a bit too adult. So we're looking for something in the vein of Hitchhiker's Guide, and I don't know what to do. Hobbit is another thing I've considered, but if what I'm looking for is more of a series, something that will keep us going for a good long time. Because if we read, go on then. If we read The Hobbit, then what comes next in the series is The Lord of the Rings, and The Lord of the Rings might be a bit dense for a 5, soon-to-be 6-year-old. We're just looking for something that has a lot of fun and big language and a lot of characters with silly voices. And that'll be our new bedtime reading. It's been great. It's like, there was a while back there where Ethan was unwilling to go to bed at night. He just wanted to stay up and he wanted to play games and he wanted to watch videos and all that stuff. So he became unwilling to go to bed. But since I've started reading to him, we started out with some actual children's science books. I read to him about the solar system and the universe. He's got a big book about that. And we read a big dinosaur book as well. And then I just picked one of the books off my shelves, Hitchhiker's Guide, and thought, you know what, we're going to read this, because this is going to be more fun than you getting me to read the same chapter over and over and over from your Big Planets book. And he really took to it. Not only did he really take to it, but he's also now really eager to go to bed at night. He'll come upstairs, he'll do his regular routine, brush his teeth, and then climb into bed, get tucked in, and he'll say, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which he has learned to say. And that means, you know, obviously, please read Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to me, please, Dad. And I'll do it, and it'll be fun. I'm loving reading it. He's loving being read it. And that's what we need going forwards once we're done with these. Just so long and thanks for all the fish, and mostly harmless to go. And then I worry about what to start next. I also want to start doing some of my own writing. I've been meaning to for the longest time. The problem is I'd never keep up with Ethan's appetite for reading, you know? I could never write, say, a long chapter a day to read to him at night. And even if I could, because I know what style he likes, I could probably mimic that style just fine. Even if I could. Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have the time. It would take me all day to do it, and then I'd have no time for anything else. Which I'd love to do, but that's more like, writing is like something I'm considering as like That's something I want to do as like a retirement career. You know, I don't see the I don't much see the point in retiring, and also I don't know if I ever can. But what I'd like to do going into the later years of my life is to write. That's what I'd like to do if ever I pack in programming. I'd like to be writing fiction. Science fiction and fantasy, both things that I'd like to write myself. Although not in the style of not necessarily in the style of Adams. I think I'd... My problem is I want to write a really serious, really hard sci-fi novel. But the same concept could be written as a comedy. Given that it is so early in development for me on that anyway, I can experiment with tone a little. Oh god. I was afraid of hitting either of those officers just standing at the side there. Apparently, it's only going to take us 27 hours. That's without sleep, obviously. We do need to factor in the sleep at some point. But only 27 hours to haul this up through Mexico, all the way up to Wyoming. I'm just impressed. I'm impressed that like our estimated delivery time is 9 p.m. Saturday, and it's currently Friday at 5:45. Oh god, why have you... You know what I like about the aesthetic of America is places like this. Little diners at the side of the road in the middle of nowhere. In the UK, maybe occasionally you get that in various places, but like typically we've got motorways like this, and then we've got service stations, massive service stations that'll have all sorts. You'll find a Burger King there. You'll find a McDonald's, maybe you'll find a Subway at almost every one. I know we're still in Mexico, but that's a very, to me, seems a very American aesthetic. Let's just cruise. We're still gaining on the truck in front, so I actually do need to slow down a little bit. Maybe at the earliest opportunity we merge across. Here. There we go. I should look at my other books as well. I actually don't have any Tolkien. I've got the Silmarillion. That's the only one I've got. Which I think was published posthumously, right? So I think the Silmarillion was unfinished when Tolkien died, and it was published after death. I'm not 100% certain about that. But I've never read it, and I know it's... I think the Silmarillion is probably the most dense of all of Tolkien's books. Because it's one of the books that explores the First Age, is that right? And it's all world building, it's all very, very serious. Unlike, of course, The Hobbit. since I was such a huge fan of Douglas Adams, I also got into the work of Kurt Vonnegut at one point, but I only ever read The Sirens of Titan. So I've got that here on my bookshelf as well somewhere. However, just vaguely remembering it, I think Vonnegut's work is a little more adult than Adams's. And this is why I need book recommendations. Because most of what I've got here is a little bit either too grown up or a little bit too just straight and serious. One book I do have here actually that I might read to Ethan is Ready Player One, which I wouldn't say is a great book, but you know, it's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for Generation Z. It's fun. More than anything, it's fun. It's not exactly a great work of literature, but it is damn good fun. I might read The Martian to him. Oh no, wait, no, I can't read The Martian to him. I've just remembered. In that science book I was talking about, the universe and planets one, he would have me read the same chapter every night, which was the planets, and we'd go through them, and I'd get him to name each planet. You know, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and oh no. Yes, this way. Okay. Oh, so by keep left you meant really keep left. I see. Would you like to? Thank you. Just let me across. Brilliant. And keep left again, apparently. There we go. Oh, these roads, they get confusing. They come at you out of nowhere. He would have me read the same chapter every night, which was about the planets, and so I would say, what planet comes next? He would say, you know, we'd start with Mercury, and he would name Mercury, he would name Venus, Earth, and then we'd say, what planet comes next? And he would say, Mars, and then I would begin reading about Mars. Since we've read it so many times, I can probably do this word for word. Just trying to remember how it goes. The fourth and last terrestrial planet from the sun, Mars, and at that point he would do a little frustrated grunt with me. Really? Yeah, I'll turn those back on then. There we go. Because he did not like me saying the word Mars. We're not entirely sure why. He has a similar issue with the word red, so I think it could be something to do with Mars being the red planet. And I also think it could be a jealousy thing. Like, Dad, you're not allowed to say that word. That's my word. Red is my color. Mars is my planet. Someone better tell Elon Musk that Mars is Ethan's planet, though. I think that's what it is. Because there's no other real explanation for it. Then it's just like, hey, actually, that's my word. I say that. We have, in fact, we've got away with it. We've got away with saying it. It is a word that does not come up in... I don't think it came up in any of the Hitchhiker's Guide series books so far. But it finally came up in So Long and Thanks for All the Fish, and we got away with saying it, so that's fine. I'm not sure if you noticed that the word Mars was in the paragraph, the chapter that I read last night. So preferably a book that does not... That's not about Mars, obviously not The Martian then. Which which I would love to reread. The Martian is a great book. What is going on here? That lane's moving, this one's not. Which makes me consider going across into the large empty space here. Yeah, thank you. Might do that, might do that. Oh wait, finally. Okay. So, finally we are moving. But something sci-fi or fantasy, just something with a lot of weird alien or fantasy creatures would be great. Or just, you know, just really animated characters. I was Googling children's sci-fi books the other day. Came across a series called Who Let the Gods Out, which has got some decent reviews. I might consider getting that. I'm not sure. But Who Let the Gods Out, one person in particular reviewed the series and said this author is this generation's Douglas Adams, and that review alone made me well up a little bit. I was like, wow. Okay, that's a really high accolade. That is that's an incredible review. But also in my Googling, what came up is another book that I already do own, In Search of Schrodinger's Cat. However, those of you who know this book already know the issue with this. I was Googling children's sci-fi. In Search of Schrodinger's Cat is neither sci-fi nor targeted at children. In Search of Schrodinger's Cat is a popular science book about quantum mechanics. It is a quite heavy read that requires some understanding of physics to begin with. Although John Gribbins is it John Gribbins? No, it's just John Gribbin. John Gribbin is a great author, so if you're interested in quantum mechanics at all, it is a fantastic book to introduce you to, well, to the broad science that is quantum mechanics. But it is certainly not a children's sci-fi book, and I don't know how it came up in that Google search. I think because the title makes it sound like it's a children's sci-fi book. In Search of Schrodinger's Cat. Oh, what a lovely story about going in search of a cat that's both missing and not. I think we've got loads and loads of options for rest stops at the moment, but I think we're gonna pull over at the next one, have a rest, and call it an episode there. It is currently 9:12 p.m. 9:13 now. So we'll get a good sleep, and we'll sleep the night through-ish. I think we need to merge into the middle for it, though, it looks like. And then, oh god. Oh god, I can't really, where's the rest stop? Just here's the rest stop, okay. I'm just gonna pull up here, stop the engine, sleep through the night. Hopefully it's light again. Oh, it's getting there. Not too bad. The, yeah, the rain appears to have stopped. So, there we go. I'm gonna leave it there for the time being. Let me just remember to turn the engine back off. And we will check our drivers before we wrap up. Do I not have any drivers? Do I keep forgetting to hire drivers? Like, okay, I don't... You've got long distance. You've got long distance. You've got long distance and 2 others, so we may as well hire you. Ah, that's the problem. We can't afford a truck. We'd have to buy a truck as well. Maybe we'll do this in the next episode. I don't know how much the basic truck in the game is. I'm driving a Western Star, so maybe we also get a Western Star for our other drivers. I don't know. 118,000. We could, but I don't know if I want to spend the money right now. So how are we doing financially? We're only paying back 5,788 per day. I think we just keep on trucking at the moment. I don't see any reason to complicate things at this moment in time. Things in Euro Truck Simulator 2 are complicated at the moment. You saw on Monday a massive crash at the end of that video. Spoilers if you haven't seen that and you want to go check those out at any point. But yeah, let's wrap up here. Thank you so much for watching. If you've got any book recommendations for me that would be appropriate for my 5-year-old and me to read on a night time, then please leave a comment below. In the meantime, I've been Tom, this has been American Truck Simulator, and ta-ra.